Explain to the audience a little bit about the business side of art and selling art, because it sounds like you know it, and how important it is for artists to know the business side, because you can be taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Explain a little bit about
that. At some point, it's a fire that's being stoked. It's a question that is burning within that one must answer. You gotta figure it out, and either you leave it or you take it throughout your day. But most people feel like the world is coming to energy. They're beginning to figure out, he having a bad mood, or it's a vibe.
Right.
But they don't understand what you've been doing over the course of your time to even be able to carry something like that, and not going to the world angry. You just have a sense of wanting to know what it is. It's not you, it's a personal thing.
Yeah.
And the world should be more aware of those things, and people, so. Yeah.
Now, with your work, how have you incorporated your art in your everyday living?
I have to live this out. I create, at first it was tapestry work that you just hang on the wall.
Right.
But then it was like, well, we create brands every day. Like he has on the Milwaukee Bucks right there on your chest. You got the polo. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That stands for something, for someone. For me, I'm taking, again, everything that I've learned, and I'm now wearing it throughout this, what it say, put on the whole armor. So for me, these things guard me, and they guard me for, for questions, and it's to get or at least to elicit a response that either I wouldn't have had if I had gone in plain clothes.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
now, again, I'm searching the world however I can, and if I can invoke you to come to me, as well as me going out and to seek this information, then it's a win-win. Both sides of the coin are getting fed. So that's how I'm working every day through my art. I'm living that out every day.
Yeah,
so
it's in you. It's your existence.
Yeah.
It's you wearing it. You can go home and put it on paper. Or you can go home and look at it on your wall.
Yeah.
And so I get that.
They say what they say. It's in me and on me now.
Right. Okay. Goals for your work, right? So you mentioned earlier about 450 pieces. I've never heard of an artist having that much work. I think that's great. But what is your goals for
worldwide? Worldwide.
Okay.
If there is any word that I could say or any phrase, it would be to be known worldwide, and not in the fame way, but again, to elicit a response that somebody who knows what they're looking at can come to me with the information that I need. Because essentially these are questions like the one behind you. You can see over the shoulder of this monk or this priestly figure, it's asking the question, are you sure?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Because what they say, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. But the rules and principles of the darkness, or at least whatever they claim darkness to be. But questions are being asked in everyone's mind every day. So to get this out now, it allows for the people who have that information or that answer to bring it back. You know what I'm saying? That's my message to the world. I have questions and I want them answered, and that's what I'm doing every day by wearing my art, by creating work. I'm beckoning the universe to answer me. What they say, seeking you shall find, knock and the door shall be open. Every day with everything that I create, I'm knocking as constantly as I can, because these are answers that are that's a necessity for me right now. I need to know,
Okay. So now with you saying that and you creating these pieces and your other art, Have you ever got a response to someone that you gave it to, or someone that you sold it to where they say, man, this piece that your idea you came up with helps them?
Yeah.
Explain that to the audience.
I met a woman on the bus. I was coming from Kentucky back to Milwaukee, and I met a woman she was from Ghana.
Okay.
And she saw what I was working on, and she said, yo, that looks like something from my family altar. And that's where my first honest response of what a family altar was, outside of going into a building, filled with people, the church house.
Yes.
But she had this feeling about her. There was like this overwhelming sense of joy that I had answered a question for her.
Right.
And me doing what I was doing, going through the frustrations that I was going through, my pain point allowed for her to see that the universe was speaking.
Right.
Whether it be through me, to me, whatever the work was, that was something that I would never forget. Like,
right.
And I gave that work to her. I gifted that work to her. After I had done, we finished our conversation. I signed it and I gave it to her, and I asked her, should there ever be a time that you return here to the States, let me know. Give me the answers that were brought to you from the people. That was just one example of the many others that I've gotten. Like, some people have attacked, and in a way that was verbal, but it was still a spiritual response nonetheless. I wasn't dealing with you, the person.
Right.
I was dealing with what was evoked from within. So that gave me an answer. Whether you knew it or not, I was able to say, okay, it's something more to that piece right there. Let me go and figure it out. And I've been able to ask the person, even after the attack, yo, so what about the piece made you feel like I was, speaking to you? Or what made you...
Greenwood Park Gallery and Framing, open for all of your art needs. Located at 4233 West Fond du Lac Avenue, open Mondays through Fridays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Now featuring African American and contemporary artwork for local, national, and international artists. Your local shop for masks and statuettes, mud cloths, royal cloths, and salt lamps. Call 414-444-5166 or follow their Facebook. Greenwood Park Gallery and Framing, 4233 West Fond du Lac Avenue.
The piece made you feel like I was, speaking to you, or what made you feel like you needed to be angry. And they'll tell me, hey, historically this is something that my family has dealt with, or I was just reading something about, or an article that enraged me based on how these people were treated.
Right. And
it told them, or at least it gave me confirmation about, again, what I had just researched and more. Man, just that, man. I'm always getting an answer. Even if it don't come right away, it'll come to me in some form, some shape or fashion. I just got to keep knocking.
Right. What I've realized is common with artists is that you might sit down in your studio and draw this, and these ideas for a piece might come to you, and they're your ideas, the energy that you put in it is your energy, but when other people see it, or you sell it to someone else, or you give it to someone else, it may take a whole different meaning than originally attempted by you as you were drawing it. And I think that's dope. I think you were inspired to do this and create this, but then giving it to someone or selling it to someone, it has totally different meaning. I think that's pretty dope, man. So how can collectors acquire your work?
So right now I'm perfecting what we use, or what we know today as promissory notes.
Okay.
So this will allow for the generation or the creation of generational wealth. So even though I have an asking price, I seek to maintain, the rights to royalties and the usage. So depending on what type of contract you sign with me, it could be for commercial uses or for resale. Either way, I'm drafting, or I have drafted already, certificates of, special deposit that will allow for, again, the generation of the work to continue. Yes, I do sell outright. I sell prints. And again, those are for limited usage unless, specifically stated through you and I, or through myself and the person who's signing the contract.
Yes,
so,
yes.
And there, I do have stuff that I just say, hey, just take it. I know that it'll come back to me eventually, but those are the works that I'm led to gift. Like, there's no true attachment to that, except for the fact that you understand, for resale purposes, you contact me, reach out.
Right.
Especially if it's a life-changing amount, absolutely.
Yes. Yes.
So I draft all of my images and works to state that the resale and royalties clause remain within the family, remain within the creator's right to own.
Okay.
So just things that I've been thinking of, man, and doing the research about how intellectual property is often taken and discarded, or at the very least, a person would sell a piece for $10,000, but the resale was $10 million.
Right.
Where did the artist come in on that?
Yeah,
That's a life-changing amount.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
So
I'm protecting myself and my family and my offspring over the course of these pieces being alive and being shown, and doing what they're doing. So yeah.
So with that said, explain to the audience a little bit about the business side of art and selling art, because it sounds like you know it, and how important it is for artists to know the business side, because you can be taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Explain a little bit about
that was my driving force for doing all of the research that I've done. Again, with intellectual property, there are differences from where you create versus when you sell. And they utilize those legal terms. If you sold something, then that denotes, or through your silence, is complicit to that. It belongs to that person now.
Right.
That's not where I'm headed.
Right.
And I have to make that clear for every person that I meet. And especially when it comes down to pieces like this, the stuff that I love and still have questions about. Eventually, I would want to check in on that and make sure that it's still in the state that I gave it in, that there aren't any changes. So I have to draft those things within the contracts in order to make sure that it's explicitly stated. This is what I want, and this is how I'm allowing it to be utilized. And it's important for every artist to understand that this is a business.
Yes.
It's not just for art's sake anymore. Like, you have to understand that your work could change. It is changing lives. I look at people like Basquiat or any of the other artists who've had to who hadn't seen the fruition of their work. Their families have, but some of them haven't ever been paid.
Right.
Ever.
Really?
Ever.
Really? Yeah,
now the Basquiat family, they did, oh my God, they're doing an excellent job as far as the critique of the business world goes, and how they're establishing the longevity of the piece.
Right.
But that stuff comes with, again, time, and it comes with, you wanting to for your work to live on, and you wanting to live on through your work.
Right. Okay. Yeah. It's a business. The Artist Connection podcast was generated from many conversations with local artists around the lack of opportunity to showcase their talent. Here at Greenwood Park Gallery and Framing, we recognize our local talent and strive to connect artists with the community. Please enjoy this opportunity to hear from local artists and learn more about what inspires their work.
Greenwood Park Gallery and Framing specializes in custom framing, printing on canvas, and selling contemporary and African American art, all housed in our 3,000 square foot art gallery. We are centrally located in Milwaukee at 4233 West Fond du Lac Avenue. We recognize local artists and strive to connect local talent with the community. We're asking for your support. Contact us to find out how you can help sponsor the work we're doing to highlight local artists in our community.